You're gonna like it, you're gonna love this bike, I'm telling you. Welcome officially to the third episode of Your Bikes on Sick Bike channel series. Tracy from Montana, thank you so much for sharing these info with us. Has made a wonderful project, Superlight bike, very clean looking bike. And I'm 100% sure this will be an inspiration for many of us wanting to build some cool looking and very good riding bike for ourselves. And at the end, Tracy is going to tell us how does he maintain his chain. That's interesting. Let's just play the tape.
Hey Danny and all the Sick Biker fans. I just wanted to share a little bit about my bike that I just love. Probably nobody would want one. It's an old bike. It's a 2006 Scott CR1 frame, size 52 centimeters. And I'm 5 foot 8 inches tall. By the way, my name is Tracy. I'm in Billings, Montana. Okay, why I picked a 2006, okay? I built this bike in 2012. I didn't have a lot of money, but my old bike was a bit heavy. I decided I wanted a very light and very stiff bike, a climbing bike, a lot of mountains here in Montana. And I had never built my own bike before, so I just wanted to start from scratch pretty much. So I started researching frames. I found that the 2006 CR1 frame, still made in Europe at that point, was a very light frame for the time. It was approximately 980 grams. So I started finding them on eBay in different places and bidding on them. They always went for too much money. And then the Saunier Duval team put about a dozen of these on eBay at one time. They were all brand new, never used, just frames. Most of them had all of the team logos. This one didn't, and it was my size, so I bid on it. I think it was the third one of those frames I bid on, and I actually won it at a very good price. I think I paid $650 US for it, so I thought that was great. I got it. Yes, it was brand new. It looked fantastic. The weight was amazing. It had a bad scratch on the fork from shipping. The box was broke, so I ended up putting a Scott Addict fork on it, and I actually lightened it up even a little bit more. So I'll show you my bike a little bit. Okay, so I went with all SRAM 2013 10-speed. Previous to that, I was running Dura Ace 9-speed. I've got a Zip Vumaquad crankset, which is no longer made. I really enjoyed the SRAM putting it all together. It went together real well. The yaw shifter was, I thought, easy to adjust and very noiseless compared to some of the gears on my Dura Ace setup, so I really like that. Took a little bit of while getting used to shifting with just one lever on each side, but all in all it worked pretty good. And I guess the only complaint I would have is that despite the fact that it's a very silent drivetrain, the shifting is a bit noisy just when you bang it into another gear. My brakes are zero gravity titanium brakes. My wheels are my favorite part of the bike. These are American Classic Sprint 350s, very light. I got the Supreme bladed spokes, titanium spokes. The wheels are lighter than most carbon wheels, but they were still very inexpensive, and they have been bulletproof. I have sent them in for adjustment once, and they said they're perfectly straight, but we'll retension them anyway, and they've just been fantastic wheels. The weight on the wheel set is 1251 for my set. Just fantastic wheels. I can't say enough about them. Never had a bearing problem, never had any other type of problem. They've just been fantastic. I'm running a Garmin GPS. Go back to the Scott frame, okay? Yeah, it's light. It's a very simple frame by today's standards. The top tube is slanted, but not very much. You know, back then there were still some good bikes with straight top tubes. All of the tubes are round, or very nearly round. There's not any aerodynamics to the tube. It's all very simple. Seat tube is perfectly round. A little bit of bending here and some flaring in those tubes, but all in all, mostly very, very round and not a big deal. So what I did was I got the frame and I traded in all my Dura-Ace components for SRAM Red 2013 and just started buying the lightest of everything that I could find, with the caveat that it had to be on a budget. My goal was to build up a very light bike at a very cheap price. I think I probably have about 3,800 US, and it's not a current bike technology wise, but I love it. It is extremely stiff. I really love the stiffness, even though the bottom bracket area doesn't look huge. Maybe it's just because I'm not that strong, but compared to my old carbon fiber frame, it is very, very stiff. And I don't know, I gotta say, I have no desire, even after this many years, to upgrade to anything newer or better. I love my bike. Thank you, Danny, appreciate it. And in case I forgot to mention it before, the total weight of the bike is 13.8 pounds or 30.36 kilos. Oh, and one thing I wanted to throw in there just for comments, it'll probably be just a reason for you guys to, I don't know, maybe tell me I'm crazy, but chain maintenance that I do on my bikes, how often do I lube my chain? Never. The lube that's in there at the factory, for my riding style, I don't ride that many miles a year. I never ride in rain, I never ride in dirt, I never ride in snow or mud. So what I do is I never lube my chain, but every year, beginning of the year, I buy a brand new chain, and that lube that's in that chain is better than anything you could ever put on it afterwards, as far as how well it is in the internals of the chain. That has served me very well. I clean my drivetrain. I don't have cassette problems, I don't have chainring problems, I don't have noise, and I don't have chain problems, and I don't have all the mess. Probably not anything I should pass on to anybody, but that's what I do. Thanks.